pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Oh, I just lost the internet. Great. Second, could we have roll call?
All right, so Trustee Stauff. Here. Trustee Rhodey. Here. Trustee Pater. Here. Trustee Kreiser. Here. Trustee Grabowski.
Here.
And President Knudsen.
Here.
And Trustee Belt is excused.
Okay, we have a public hearing tonight, announcement regarding Village Hall front counter closure on the village on August 24th, 2026. I hereby open up the public hearing special announcement. Matt.
Thank you, President Knudsen. As we did last year, I intend to close the office for about 90 minutes for team building exercise on August 24th. The board was comfortable with that last year, but this is your opportunity to object if you have concerns this year.
Is it a ropes course?
It is not. It'll just be breaking of bread. It'll just be a team lunch.
Okay. Ropes course would be cooler.
Are there any questions or comments? Matt, the only comment I have, and I don't know if the board is okay with this, but I would like to see the village pay for the lunch
I think we
instead
approved,
of you paying for it.
I think we approved that last year, didn't we?
Respectfully noted that it's appreciated, but
Just say thank you.
thank you. It's yeah, it's my effort, so that's what I want to pay. Thanks.
Okay. Any other comments or questions?
I think it's a great annual tradition, so very nice.
Okay, if there are no comments from the audience or anything, then.
I'm wondering what lunch is going to be. Sorry, Mark Grabowski, 244.
Well, then I'm going to close the public hearing. Item number 3, approval of the regular village board meeting, July 21st, 2026, special village board meeting. I hope everyone's had a chance to go through it. Are there any questions, comments, or corrections as the way they are presented this evening? And if not, will someone like to make a motion to approve?
Motion to approve minutes from July 21st, 2026, special village board meeting.
Second, Kreiser.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Minutes are hereby adopted for special village board meeting. Next one is the minutes from the July 21st, 2026 regular village board meeting. Again, I hope everyone's had a chance to go through them. Are there any questions, comments, or corrections as to the way they are presented this evening? If not, would someone like to make a motion to approve as presented?
Motion to approve the minutes from the July 21st, 2026 regular village board meeting. As written.
Second, Peter.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? 2026 regular village board meeting at the minutes are hereby adopted. Item 4, citizens' comments. This is an opportunity for citizens to share their opinions with the village board member on any topic they choose. However, due to Wisconsin open meeting laws, the board is not able to answer questions or respond to your comments. All comments should be directed to the board. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker with a audible alarm sounding. When the alarm sounds, speakers are asked to please conclude their comments. Speakers are asked to use the podium and state their name and address for the record. Is there anybody that would like to make a comment? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Colleen Boland, and I live at 253 Park Avenue. Tonight, I want to speak about what I call a tale of two construction projects. Over the last several months, construction projects have taken place on both sides of my property. On one side, the existing home was demolished and is being replaced with a new residence. On the other, an existing boathouse was demolished and is being replaced with a new one. Both projects affected neighboring properties. Both involved months of construction, yet the experiences could not have been more different. The Aspen project followed a public process, notices were sent, a public hearing was held, and neighbors had an opportunity to understand what was being proposed before work began. But what stands out most was not the approval process. The owner, builder, and contractors set a tone of professionalism, communication, and respect. The site was well managed, concerns were addressed, and neighboring properties were treated with consideration throughout the project. They demonstrated that construction occurring close to neighboring homes can be done thoughtfully and respectfully, and for that, I would like to acknowledge and thank them, though I don't think anyone's here from there. The boathouse project next door has been very different. A legally non-conforming structure was demolished and replaced by a new structure located immediately adjacent to the neighboring properties. The new structure sits approximately 6 feet from our home and less than 2 feet from the property line. On the opposite side, less than 2 feet separate neighboring structures, meaning the distance to the property line is even less. This is a structure built in extremely close proximity to surrounding properties. As construction proceeded, concerns arose regarding permits, excavation, dimensional compliance, and the interpretation of village ordinances. Those concerns have been documented in materials submitted to the village. But tonight I don't want to debate code provisions. Instead, I want to talk about trust. Throughout this process, we repeatedly sought straightforward answers to straightforward questions. Instead of gaining clarity, we often found ourselves more confused than when we began. I do not expect every issue to be simple. I do expect words to have reasonably consistent meanings, however. Instead, I encountered interpretations that were difficult to reconcile with the ordinary language of the ordinances themselves. Perhaps the most troubling example involves seeing concepts as basic as length is equal to width and treated as interchangeably depending on the circumstances. At other times, substantive concerns seem to be answered with technical distinctions that avoided the larger question altogether. When residents raise concerns about structures built only feet, inches apart, they naturally focus on the practical realities of that proximity. Yet discussion shifted to whether a particular technical requirement applied rather than addressing the underlying concern. More than once, it felt as though the questions had changed from what do the ordinances require to what interpretation allows this result. When basic terms no longer have stable meanings and substantive questions are reduced to technical distinctions, residents are left wondering how they are supposed to understand the rules, much less rely on them. At that point, the issue is no longer a particular structure. The issue becomes whether residents can reasonably rely on the ordinances at all. Particularly troubling was the impression that questions regarding compliance with village ordinances were becoming matters for neighboring property owners to resolve among themselves. That left me wondering what role residents should expect the village to play when legitimate questions arise regarding compliance with village rules. Trust is not lost when residents disagree with a decision. Trust is lost when residents can no longer understand how the decision was reached. I'm not asking the board to agree with me on every interpretation. I'm asking the board to consider whether a reasonable resident reading the ordinances would have understood them in the same way the village ultimately decided. Looking back, what strikes me most is that the difference between these two projects was not ultimately the structures themselves. The owners and builders set the tone for each project. In one case, that tone was professionalism, communication, and respect. In the other, it was opacity, defensiveness, and uncertainty. But providing clarity, consistency, and confidence in the application of village ordinances is ultimately the village's responsibility. The dramatic contrast between these two experiences leaves me asking a simple question. When transparency, communication, and trust were absent, where was the village? When residents seek clarity, when questions arise about compliance, and when confidence in the process begins to erode, what role should they expect the village to play? Because the larger issue before the village is not a boathouse, it's public confidence. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there anybody else that would like to make a comment? Okay, then we will move on to item 5, ordinances, we have none. Item 6, resolutions, we have none, and item 7, old business, we have none. To new business, item 8, review, discussion, and possible action regarding draft utility and street design drawings for 2027 Prospect Avenue project from Main Street to School Street, including possible addition of new sidewalk. Are there any questions or comments as it relates to this particular topic?
I will just state for the board in case anyone gets questions, because not all residents were here this evening from Prospect, that it was recommended, Director Buell recommended after the feedback from the residents to not go ahead with requiring or adding sidewalk to the south side of Prospect, where there is currently no sidewalk. Outside of the 2 potential houses that did say they wanted sidewalk.
Where's the part that is under debate?
It was not really a debate. It was when we had the survey done for the street and found out that we had more space on the south side, which would be the cemetery school side of Prospect, that he had them potentially add in sidewalks so that it could be an all-encompassing design to start, so that we didn't have to go back down years later if we wanted to add sidewalk. And then kudos to Director Buell for actually going and speaking with our residents and taking feedback, and he sent out a survey to them, of which, 10 houses, 7 responded no, 1 didn't respond, and 2 responded yes. So we made the recommendation, or we followed his recommendation to not move forward with sidewalk on that portion, adding sidewalk to that portion of the street. The 2 houses directly adjacent to the chunk of sidewalk to nowhere right now, near the library, did say they were interested in sidewalk, so staff is going to work with them to potentially add sidewalk in front of their 2 houses then. So just extending that sidewalk then, so they would have access to the library and such. Any questions on it?
Bob?
I guess just comments, and thank you for the information that you provided. Understanding the true benefit versus the cost on this, we don't know what the cost is going to be when it comes to moving utility poles. We don't know what the cost would be. Removing necessarily all the retaining walls that are
adding new retaining walls
right now. When I look at the sidewalks we currently have, most students that are coming down from the school are going to take school or lake. Okay, the sidewalk, or the use of the sidewalk on Prospect Avenue, would serve just a few houses right there. They really wouldn't have a lot of pedestrian traffic, and you already have a sidewalk on the other side of the street. So I look at the cost, or the potential cost for it, and I agree with the recommendation that's made here. We shouldn't even be grading for it. It just wouldn't, cost-wise and benefit-wise, I just don't see the benefit.
And I mean, I want to say thank you, because as long as I've been a resident of the village, I know it's not as long as some of you, but I don't remember a director of public works holding an information session for residents that a street project impacts. And all the residents were in agreement that they thanked the board and the director and the administrator for including them and informing them ahead of time. So I think that's a best practice that we should continue, but that was awesome to see.
I have one question, and that is, why didn't we just go all the way to the village limits on Prospect? Instead of stopping at school, do the whole of Prospect?
In future years, we can do that.
What's that?
In future years, we can do that. Maybe we can continue going down Prospect. With the road reconstruction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just due to budget.
Yeah, I was
you
gonna say,
can
we don't
only
have
do
the
so much
money.
at a time. But yes, it is planned to keep going that direction.
That was
But
a
there's some
question
other,
brought up to me by a resident that was
No.
like, I thought they were doing it all.
there's some other areas that have water main breaks. There haven't been any water main breaks over there, knock on wood. But there's been other water main breaks on Richmond Drive and West Wisconsin and Main Street. So we've been kind of focusing on those areas.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Yes, Nick?
So this project is repaving and some utility improvements along that stretch. And then what I noticed in the plans is that there's some new signage going up, et cetera. What I've heard from some residents, you know how we have the pylons downtown and a little bit more clear marking of the walkways beyond the crossing guards, which do a great job? Is there any way that we could notify drivers to even slow down even more on that road?
I did take a picture of the sign that's down at the beach where it says state law stop for pedestrians or something like that.
Right.
We can add 4 of those on the crosswalks as part of this project.
So okay, great, awesome, cool. I just couldn't see them. Thanks.
No, they're not on that plan.
Oh, okay. And yeah,
We
my
just-
eyes are getting old.
Yeah,
We
we're,
just added that today, actually.
we're dealing with some crosswalk discussion at School Street, and the overall safety will be looked at that as well up on the top of the hill. So there's still safety discussion to be had regarding the project.
Great, okay.
Any other comments or questions? Okay. Is there anybody would like to make a motion here?
I make a motion to approve the draft utility and street design for the Prospect Avenue project from Main to School with the elimination of the new sidewalk.
Second, Rhodey.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is hereby carried. Review, discussion, and possible action to award the construction contract to Wolf Paving, Inc. for the 2026 West Wisconsin Street Project from Burroughs Drive to Glacier Road. Again, I hope everyone's had a chance to go over that, or any questions, comments as it relates to this particular item. I just have one. This isn't the same company that did the first part, is it?
No, that last year's West Wisconsin project was Payne and Dolan. And this year's West Wisconsin project would be Wolf Paving.
Okay, because I, again, had complaints about having to redo the new road by the water,
Yeah,
the sewer lines.
the manhole
Manholes.
heights.
Yeah,
Yeah, we had some issues with that. There is a little bit of downfall in doing asphalt pavement.
mhm.
If we did concrete, you can set the elevations of the structures more exact. Concrete's more expensive though too. It's
Mhm.
nicer. I like
Yeah, but that
concrete
was,
more.
I mean, that was a
certainly
screw,
could
that was
do
a screw
concrete.
up on their part. I mean, we don't have to,
Yeah, there was some issues on
Yeah.
that.
I was just wanting to make sure, because people that did the Glacier Road, I'm extremely happy with.
Yeah, they did.
The
a
way
good
they
job.
set everything and did everything.
Mhm.
It's just very nice. So, any other comments or questions? Do I have a motion then?
I'll make a motion to award the construction contract for the West Wisconsin project to Wolf Paving.
Second, Kreiser.
Do we have a motion and a second? Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is hereby carried. Review, discussion, and possible action to approve a design proposal for R.A. Smith for the 2027 street project on West Wisconsin Avenue from Glacier Road to village limits. Again, are there any questions, comments as it relates to this particular item? If not, would somebody like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the design proposal from R.A. Smith for the Glacier Road to Village Limits West Wisconsin project.
Second, Prater.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Again, any questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion is hereby carried. Review, discussion, and possible action to approve a design proposal from R.A. Smith for the 2020 7th Street project on Richmond Drive. Again, I hope everyone's had a chance to go over this. Are there any questions, comments as it relates to this particular item?
Here's another one of those that got bumped up because of water main issues and such.
Good.
Where is Richmond Drive exactly? I'm
If
having
you-
a brain fart.
If you go along the library, it
Yep.
runs the backside of the library, past Triangle Park to, back
Got it.
to
Yep,
Main.
all right.
Okay. Any other questions?
I'll make a motion to approve the design proposal from R.A. Smith for the Richmond Drive Street project.
Second, Rhodey.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is hereby carried. Review, discussion, and possible action to extend a special events permit for waterfront Wednesdays and sales of alcohol at Lakefront Park to include August 2nd and August 19th. Excuse me. Again, I hope everyone's had a chance to look these over. Are there any questions or comments as it relates to this particular item?
Just for the record, it's August 12th and August 19th.
What was
I'm
that?
sorry?
I think you said second, but it's the 12th and the 19th.
Oh, didn't I
I
say
heard
the
second.
12th and
Did
19th?
anyone else hear that? No. No.
Okay.
Is it gonna be a Wednesday and then the last one's a Thursday?
No, I think they're both Wednesday, aren't they?
Because it says Thursdays on the memo.
Correct.
It says Wednesday, Thursday.
Because one's the Cops and Doggers, and then one's the, I think they're both Wednesday, because.
It does say
would be-
Thursday. It does say
Because
Thursday.
it would be ski show on Thursday.
Yeah, okay.
They're both Wednesdays. I think that's just an error.
Okay.
Well, we can approve them and then have staff.
Yeah.
I think
The
the,
dates are correct.
the numbers are correct.
Numbers are
numbers are
correct?
correct.
Okay.
In
I
here,
just
yeah.
double check that, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's great that they're extending it. I'll make a motion to approve the special events permit for Waterfront Wednesdays and the sale of alcohol for the 12th and the 19th.
Second, Kreiser.
okay, we have a motion and a second. Any comment? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is hereby carried. Item F, review, discussion, and possible action on an update on the quiet zone project map.
Thank you, President Knutson. This item's on the agenda tonight, actually from a request from a resident, just to update the community and where we are in this process. So I don't have anything verbally to add to the memo in the packet, but I will just kind of summarize what I wrote in that the city is willing to cooperate with the village and work with us for a joint quiet zone, which is really wonderful on their part because they really don't get much out of it other than a quieter village if it's granted. And so the Federal Railway Agency did say that they would consider a joint quiet zone. What they require is that there's an intergovernmental agreement between the two communities and that IGA appoints a lead contact in the event that there's accidents or issues, which would be the village in this case. So city staff have drafted an agreement that underwent legal review with the city attorney, and now it's on our desk to review it on our end. So the concurrent piece that's going on with that is for the village to pursue the alternate safety measure review for the two crossings that don't meet the standard safety measures, which are the ones on Oakton and West Wisconsin. So once that process is submitted, that takes about a 2-year review.
Do you have to declare which path you're going, or could we go ahead with the regular one and they say, wait, we have to do more review in this? Or do you have to say, we either want to go with the regular one or we want to go with the ASM?
So we're allowed to pursue both concurrently.
Okay.
So we can establish the joint quiet zone with the city, and while that's in place, we can pursue the alternative safety measure review.
Well, I'm just saying, and is there a possibility that we won't need the alternate one?
Well, I think the agreement with the city is considered to be temporary, rather than perpetual or ongoing. And I think the city is looking at it from the point of view from their liability, that they would rather take care of their crossings than have us take care of ours.
I just got confused there, because I thought we're jointly.
We are, but it's not permanent.
Got it. So you're saying that, so that we have a backup for if and when that IGA dissolves, we would still be able to stand on our own feet.
Correct.
Okay.
So they're willing to help us out until the ASM process is done.
Okay, so I'm just trying to clarify for what we typically get questioned for from residents, and that question is when. So knowing that the ASM could take up to 2 years, does this mean this joint filing and us running concurrently, that we could potentially have a quiet zone approval with the IGA before that 2 years?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. That's the whole point.
I'm sorry, I'm like, is it 2 years? What are we telling residents here?
Yeah,
So,
that's the whole point of the IGA and the
Okay.
joint zone.
Perfect.
That we can accomplish it much, much sooner.
Love that. I thought we were just pursuing the ASM and it was gonna be another 2 years and, okay.
No.
Cool. Thank you.
Any idea how much faster than 2 years?
Boy, I'd hate to put a stake in the ground because.
How long does it take for them to get back to us on a lift station?
Well, right, no, the lift station, that was the railroad itself.
Oh, okay.
Now we're talking the federal agency that
Gotcha.
oversees the railroad. So it's a little different party, but,
Okay.
I mean, I'm still hopeful yet this year.
Oh, okay. Good to have goals.
Okay, yeah. Shoot for the moon, right?
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? I see it's slated for action, but I think it's more of an informational.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
My action will be a high five for you when this gets completed and finished. That'll be my action.
Okay, well then we're gonna go to citizen comments, which we have none. No citizens. We'll go right to adjournment.
Motion to adjourn, Rhodey?
Second, Kreiser.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are hereby adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for this evening.